Have you ever wondered what would have happened if a player hadn't signed that contract? From superstar to forgotten reserve, today I will show you 5 transfers that ruined players' careers. The third player will shock you. Let's begin.
At one point, Alexis Sanchez was the most electric forward in the Premier League. Arsenal's talisman, Barcelona's former gem, a goal machine with the work rate of 2 players. But then, a move that looked like a power shift turned into a total disaster. In January 2018, Sanchez made a blockbuster switch to Manchester United, a straight swap deal for Henrik Mkhitaryan. It was hyped as a coup. United fans were buzzing. Arsenal fans were nervous. And Sanchez, he was handed the famous number 7 shirt, worn by Légendéric Cantona, David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo. But the magic never came. In fact, it vanished. In 18 months at United, Sanchez scored just 5 goals in 45 appearances. His form collapsed, his confidence disappeared, and worst of all, he looked like he didn't even want to be there. By 2019, he was out the door on loan to Inter Milan, one of the fastest falls from grace in modern football. A transfer that didn't just ruin his form, it damaged his entire legacy.
In January 2018, FC Barcelona signed Philippe Coutinho from Liverpool for €145 million. He was the second most expensive at that time. Catalan fans were ecstatic.
Many saw him as the perfect successor to Iniesta.
Coutinho was magical at Liverpool. Passing, shooting from outside the box, speed, vision, he was the engine of club's team. In the Premier League, he had scored 54 goals and provided 45 assists in 5 seasons. From the beginning, Coutinho seemed lost. He didn't fit into the style of play. Messi was getting the ball, and his favorite position as a playmaker was already occupied. He was moved to the left in the role of Neymar, but without the speed and freedom. He was criticized for his lack of involvement, lack of defensive intensity, and especially for his absence in important matches. In 2019, Barcelona loaned him to Bayern Munich. There the ironia reaches its peak. In the UEFA Champions League semi-finals, Bayern Munich beats Barcelona 8-2. And who scores 2 goals? Exactly, Coutinho. Barcelona paid €145 million for him to eliminate them from the Champions League in another club shirt.
In 2019, Eden Hazard was one of the best players in the world.
Real Madrid bought him for over €100 million. Everyone thought he would be the new leader after Cristiano Ronaldo's leave.
At Chelsea, Hazard was making show. Dribbling, goals, decisive passes, he had it all. Speed, vision, charisma. Madrid waited for him for a whole year. Zidane was desperate for him. Everything seemed perfect. The problems started right from the first weeks. He came to the presentation with a few extra kilos. He got injured after only 5 matches and never recovered. For years he played less than 4,000 minutes in total. That is less than a normal season at Chelsea. He had 18 injuries. He scored only 7 goals. The fans constantly booed him. Zidane and then Ancelotti ignored him. In 2023, Real Madrid terminated his contract. In 2024, he retired from football at just 32 years. Dele Alli wasn't just good, he was special. B21, he had won Young Player of the Year twice, scored 22 goals in a single season, and was already a key part of England's World Cup squad. People were comparing him to Frank Lampard, even Steven Gerrard. In January 2022, Ali left Tottenham for Everton in a shock-free transfer. On paper, it was a steal, but the fine print. Everton would pay up to £40 million based on performance bonuses. Spoiler alert, they didn't pay a penny. In over a year, at Everton, Dele Alli played just 13 games. No goals, no assists, barely noticeable, the creativity gone, the hunger missing. It looked like he didn't want to be on the pitch. They loaned him to Besiktas in Turkey, hoping he'd rediscover his form, but even there, he was booed, benched, and eventually sent home. Then this interview came up.
6, I was molested. 7, I started smoking. 8, I started dealing drugs. 11, I was hung off a bridge. And then
At his peak, Radamel Falcao was a monster. A ruthless striker with ice in his veins. Sa Atletico Madrid, 21 games. Even better, he tore Chelsea apart in the Super Cup and was considered the most complete 9 in world football.
In 2013, he joined as Monaco for €60 million, one of the most expensive transfers at the time, and he hit the ground running until disaster struck. A torn ACL in early 2014 ruled him out of the World Cup, just like that the Predator was sidelined, and he never looked the same again.
But in a shock move, just 8 months after his injury, Manchester United took a gamble, signing Falcao on loan with a £6 million loan fee and wages of £265,000 per week.
It backfired. He looked slow, short on confidence, and nothing like the killer striker he once was. In 29 appearances, he scored just 4 goals. He even played for United's U21s at one point, from Champions League nights to reserve games. It was painful to watch.
Still hoping for redemption, he joined Chelsea the next season, and it got worse. Just 1 goal in 12 appearances, and a season full of injuries. He eventually returned to Monaco and rebuilt his name, even leading them to a League One title in 2017. But the truth is, after that knee injury and the failed Premier League experiment, Falcao was never the same. Who would you choose in this top? Write in the comments.